What is the status now of Galactic Kids Next Door? Because I really want that to happen. You have no idea how much I want that to happen. Cartoon Network just has no interest in it?
They have no interest in it. Tom tried.
Attention all Kids Next Door operatives. As of right now, there are no plans for a Galactic Kids Next Door series.
Welcome back to the Roundtable. I'm your host, Oshrik Vox, and this is Vox, the show where I, Vox, talk about whatever's going on in my brain that doesn't really have a specific series already established on this channel. Now, this installment is a bit different than others, as it's a proposal, not towards one person or group, but two groups of people that encompass a much bigger picture. Those two groups are Cartoon Network and its older fans that grew up with the channel. Will this likely go anywhere? Probably not, but it never hurts to try. Now, mature fans of Cartoon Network, who grew up during the Pacific periods, known as the Checkerboard, Powerhouse, CN City, and Nudes era, have been pretty vocal about their disdain for the current state of the network. That's not to say there haven't been complaints from the current demographic, but for a multitude of obvious reasons, their concerns aren't voiced as frequently. Two factors for not being fond of the network's recent ventures are a lack of representation for the network's older programming, and the reboots or reimaginings of iconic series such as Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10, and I'm sure it goes without saying, Teen Titans Go. Personally, I don't think any of these series are horrible spawns of Satan like much of the internet perceives, but it's very understandable to see why veteran viewers feel this way. It's already a bit jarring to see something you're so familiar with be retooled and changed up a bit to fit the mold of the modern age. But when it can be easily interpreted as solely existing for cheap cash grabs with a noticeable downgrade in the way it's animated, being upset is justified. However, the argument has been made by many, including me, that these reboots aren't meant for the older audience. They're being rebooted on a children's network for a reason. As for not airing the old shows, this has also been pointed out. They're old. It's the same reason why competitors such as Nickelodeon or Disney Channel don't rerun their old catalog. Granted, Nickelodeon has a Splat, but that's on Teen Nick, a sister network that doesn't really rock the ratings, which is why they can get away with reruns. They have nothing to lose. That's the big difference though. While Nickelodeon and Disney Channel aren't really rebooting their old properties, sans for DuckTales, they're doing something else. Reviving them, making sequels for them. Two of Disney sitcoms have made a comeback in recent years with Raven's Home and Girl Meets World. Nickelodeon has been developing specials for their older series like Invader Zim, Hey Arnold, and Rocko's Modern Life. That's just scratching the surface. They're tapping into their older audiences while simultaneously adapting them into today's television standards without giving it a complete overhaul and purging its original cast and crew. Hell, Rocko's Modern Life Static Cling is about the main characters adjusting into the 2010s. The Nickelodeon specials have their original crew working on them, with as many voice actors as possible reprising their roles. Disney sequel sitcoms keep elements and casts of the original series while also introducing new characters of a younger age for the current audience to relate to. Cartoon Network doesn't have this. In fact, it feels like the reboots have only gotten more obscure and out of touch. Wacky races? Who's going to watch that? The original show ran in the late 60s. It was already aged 30 years by the time I was watching television. It's been released exclusively on the Boomerang streaming service in the United States, an app that's clearly tailored for the mature fans who grew up watching Cartoon Network. But fans of wacky races are 50 years older. Half of them probably don't know how to work Netflix, let alone a new service. Kids aren't going to know any of these characters and won't have any incentive to watch if it's just meant to emulate the original, hence why it's shoved off to Boomerang in the first place. However, it's clearly not lost on those at Cartoon Network that revivals can sell too. Case in point, Samurai Jack Season 5. At the same time, the revival has also had the fortune of being on Adult Swim, specifically Toonami. That's a perk most revivals wouldn't be able to pull off, as they wouldn't fit the mold of the adult network or the action programming block. Still, Samurai Jack was a step in the right direction. Now, Cartoon Network, I feel like you do see potential in your older audience, hence why the Boomerang gap exists in the first place. It's a platform for people to access shows they grew up with. You also took a risk on Samurai Jack. Sorta, kinda. I mean, again, Adult Swim. But I imagine you had to have some kind of say in reviving it. And it was produced at Cartoon Network Studios. It goes without saying that kids come first. It's a channel and business tailored towards kids. While the efforts you have made to accommodate the older audience are appreciated, with recently adding the original Teen Titans onto the on-air schedule, and some of the shows featured on Boomerang's roster, there's still that aforementioned disconnect. You're tapping into our nostalgia, yes, but no kidding around, you could be doing a much better job. On the flip side, to us older fans, we're legal adults now. We have jobs, with a little bit of leisure money to financially support this business for bringing us these franchises we've come to adore. So, while this may cause some pitchforks to be raised, this proposal may have a little bit of dough come out of your wallet. Now, going off by the title of this video, you're probably well aware of Galactic Kids Next Door. It was a short animatic released in 2015 that served as a pitch for a sequel series of the same name to the 2003 series Codename Kids Next Door. It gained some hype, more within the last year than it did back then, and according to the series creator Tom Warburton, it led to some meetings occurring discussing the possibility of it becoming a full-fledged series, but it was ultimately rejected. And honestly, I understand why. That's a huge commitment to create a series with not only an overarching story, but one that's a sequel to another series that ended 7 years at that point, requiring extensive knowledge of the characters and lore. Even more time has passed, so kids tuning in would just be lost and be less inclined to watch future episodes. It's truly a recipe for disaster. However, a lot has changed since spring of 2015 when GK&D was pitched. Tom Warburton is so confident the series could be picked up, and since then, we've not only gained the Boomerang streaming service, but original programming on other streaming services has expanded massively. Not only Netflix, but Hulu, YouTube Red, even DC's getting in on the action with their self-proclaimed DC branded digital service, where Young Justice Season 3 will debut. While I love the concept of Boomerang streaming service, I've seen a lot of disinterest in the final product. There's no incentive for consumers to invest into the platform. There's a limited amount of episodes and series available, and it's not as pushed as hard as it could be. While I could rant about the lack of Ed, Edd n Eddy, Johnny Bravo, or Dexter's Laboratory, that's a topic Pie Guy Rules has already covered, so I don't see the need in regurgitating the same opinion. Even at $5 a month, I don't see many people being bothered to subscribe with this current catalog. What I could see causing people to subscribe to this service is not only the addition of those older shows, but Galactic Kids Next Door as well. Again, this series has no place on modern day Cartoon Network. It's just out of touch with the current demographic. Being an exclusive property on a fairly cheap service, however, that'll hook people in. Fans have already stated that they'd pay to see Galactic Kids Next Door become a reality, and I don't see any harm in Boomerang getting that extra boost. It doesn't even have to be a huge order of episodes, because I understand animation is fairly expensive. A limited run of 6 or 10 episodes would be a great start, and if it's a hit, produce more of it. With a more varied catalog on the service, fans would be able to immerse themselves even deeper in nostalgia by binging the old series, branching out to other shows they grew up with from there, staying subscribed. And you do have that streaming deal with Hulu. Put the most recent season of Galactic Kids Next Door on there, so those already with Hulu can watch the series and go, hey, I wonder what happens next. Well, the next season will be readily available on Boomerang. The ball isn't only in Cartoon Network's court, it's in our court as well. Tweet it out and mention Cartoon Network as well. If you agree with us, state why you agree with us. Drop a comment on how we could improve on this idea. And if you want to get the conversation going beyond the comments, tweet to us at Roundtable Vids, and you can tweet to me at AllStrickVox. You can also follow our other social media and hosts while you're at it. Links to those in the description. That's all I really have to say. Oh yeah, plugging our Patreon. This video has been powered by Patreon. If you want to give us some more support, head to patreon.com/roundtablevids, become a patron, and get some awesome perks. Thanks for watching another video on the Roundtable. If you want to get more involved with our community and watch videos from Let's Talk with Tom, VoxBox, and more, click the video right here. Or if you want to get some more of the animation goodness, watch some Crystal Clear or Meeting Monday, click the video right here. And please, don't forget to subscribe.